Thanks for being here, everyone. With the big toes together and the heels slightly apart. Or as always, you could separate the feet a little bit more. And we'll just take a couple of deep breaths here to settle in. Settle into the body and settle the attention on the breath. The breath moving in through the nose, the breath moving out through the nose. Nothing more and nothing less. Standing up tall, opening the heart as you keep a strong foundation through the legs. We'll bring the palms to heart center. And begin with the opening mantra all together. Inhale through the nose. Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabode Nishreyase Jangalikayamane Samsara Hala Hala Mohashantye Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakrasidharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shwetam Pranamami Patanjalim. Exhale, bring the arms to the side, opening the eyes. And we'll begin with Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, bringing the arms over your head, gazing up. Exhale, up and over, folding forward. Inhale into half lift. Exhale, step or jump back into a high plank with the option to lower down, bend the elbows, maybe lowering the knees. Inhale, lift the heart into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, pushing back into downward facing dog, reaching the hips up and back. Or child's pose, you always have the option to lower the knees and bring the hips towards the heels. And we'll be here for about 4 more breaths, establishing the breath here for the practice with a tone in the vocal cords. In and out through the nostrils, matching the length of the inhales to the length of the exhales. Take 1 more round of breath at your own pace. And as you're exhaling, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, gaze forward, empty of breath. Make your way to the top of the mat, feet together. Inhale as you half lift and lift the heart. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, come to stand, pressing down, reaching up. Exhale, float the arms into Samasthiti. Again like that. Inhale, shift into the heels to reach through the pinkies. Exhale, up and over with a long spine as you lift through the lower belly. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or float or jump back, lowering through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Maybe the thighs lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Settling. Settling into downward facing dog. Settling the attention on the breath as it moves in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils with a little bit of tension created by the tone in the vocal cords. A little bit of friction. Without over-engaging the throat, without engaging the soft palate. You're always finding that balance between effort and surrender. 1 more breath. As you exhale, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, gaze forward. Step or jump or float to the top. Inhale into half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to stand. Press through the feet and reach through the pinkies. Exhale, float the arms as you reach through the crown of the head. Again, inhale, dropping the tailbone. Exhale, fold, fully exhale. Inhale. Exhale, step or jump, tone the lower belly, gazing forward just a little bit. Inhale, lift the heart, press the shoulders down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Spreading the fingers wide, pressing through the base of the pointer finger, and then feel the outer edges of the shoulders wrap around towards the front. So they're moving away from each other. You could also feel like the armpits lift away from the floor, or you can feel like the upper spine lifts up between the shoulder blades as you push through the hand and reach the sit bones up and back for one more breath. Relax the neck. As you exhale, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, gaze forward, step or jump into half lift. Lift the lower belly as you lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold, fully exhaling. Inhale, come to stand. Pressing down, drop the tailbone. Lift the rib cage. Exhale, float the arms back down. Let's do one more. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, up and over, folding. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump or float as you bend. Inhale, lift the heart, reach the toes back. Exhale, downward facing dog, or of course, child's pose. Listening to the breath. Last round. As you're exhaling, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, lift the lower belly, step or jump to the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to stand. Exhale, Samasthiti. Good. Surya Namaskara B. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, up and over to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump or flow as you bend. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Turn the left foot, right foot comes forward. Inhale to Virabhadrasana. Exhale, coming back down, step back and bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog, micro bend the elbows. Exhale, downward facing dog. Turn the right foot, left foot forward. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, as you come back down. Finish the exhale at the bottom of the plank. Inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Settling. Feel the full expansion of the inhales, allowing the rib cage to expand. Following the breath for one more. As you exhale, prepare. Step or jump, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms up. Exhale, Samasthiti. One more Surya Namaskar beat. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, reach the arms up. And feel free to go at your own pace. Exhale, fold if my pace doesn't work for you. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Turn the left foot, right foot forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot turns, left foot comes forward. Inhale. Exhale, mindfully placing the breaths. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel the body opening up, the energy moving through the body. Just noticing what that feels like. Take a couple more breaths here. Smoothing out the edges of the breath. One more. Exhale as you prepare. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees. Reach the arms up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Good. Bring the feet hip width distance apart. Hands to your hips. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forward, catch the big toes. Inhale again, lengthen the spine, lift the heart. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees if you need to. And maybe point the elbows out away from each other. And reach the elbows away from each other. Open up the space around the shoulders and the ears. Strong legs, waking up the feet. One more breath. Inhale, look up. Padahastasana. Exhale, slide the hands underneath the feet. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Lift the lower belly. Exhale, fold. Again, bending the knees as much as you need to. Gently drawing the crown of the head towards the mat. Keeping the legs strong and keep the feet rooting down. The feet are awake, and they're intelligently interacting with the floor. Well, now with your hands. On your next inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, hands to your hips. Fully exhale. Inhale, now begin to rise up. Exhale into Samasthiti. We're going to skip around here. Uttita Parsvakonasana. Inhale, step the right foot back, wide stance. Exhale, pivot the right toes and bend the right knee. And as you reach through the right hand, allow the torso to start lengthening and bring the right hand to the floor or the forearm to the thigh with the left arm over your head. Good. Legs are strong. Pressing down through the feet so you feel the lift from underneath the thighs, from the pelvis, from the lower belly, and then eventually out through the pinkies. Continuous conversation between the reaching and the rooting. One more breath. Fully exhale. Coming out of it, pivot the feet. Exhale, reach and lengthen as you move in. Forearm to the thigh, or hand to the floor, or fingertips to the floor. Smooth, steady breath. Stay with it. Take one more breath here. Fully exhale first. And then come out of it. Inhale, pivot around, face the back. Exhale, twist to the right. The left elbow can come to the thigh, and the hands come in prayer, or you can take the version with the hand on the floor if you're familiar with it, reaching the left arm over your head. Maybe lowering that back heel so the left foot's at 45 degrees. Breathing deeply into the upper belly, into the backside. Good, one more breath, inhale. And as you exhale, gaze down for balance. Fully exhale, and then come out of it. Inhale, pivot to the front. Exhale, twist to the left. Keep bending into the left knee and keep rooting into the outside edge of the right foot. And if the heel is lifted, reach back through the right heel. Don't forget about the back leg. Find smooth, steady breathing, maintaining the pace of the breath. One more. Exhale as you gaze down. Inhale. Coming out, opening to the side. Exhale, Samasthiti. Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, step the right foot back. Hands to the hips. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold, crown of the head moving towards the mat. Hand move back a little bit if that's available to you. Drawing the elbows in towards each other and moving the shoulders away from the ears. So just kind of paying attention to the shoulder position here. And it's going to come in handy later. Really, palms are flat, wake up the hands, press through the base of the pointer finger, squeeze the elbows in, and move the shoulders away from the ears. Reach the crown towards the floor. Good, one more breath here. Straighten the arms as you inhale. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale, coming to the top. Exhaling there. We'll do one more here. Inhale, reach the arms to the side. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale, reach the hands away from the body. Exhale, move the hands away from the hips. As much as it's comfortable. Again, finding that balance between effort and creating a little bit of tension. And releasing, allowing the shoulder blades to move away from each other, the neck to relax. Settle into the breath. One more. Fully exhaling before you come all the way up. Inhale. Release the hands. Exhale into Samasthiti. Good. Let's do one more standing pose. Parsvottanasana. Bring the hands into reverse prayer. Palms together behind the back or fists together behind the back. Step the right foot back. Inhale. Exhale. Fold over the right leg. Pressing evenly through both feet. Settle into the breath. Find your own pace for the breath. One more. Coming up. Inhale, pivot to the front. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Press both feet down evenly. Strongly, actively. One more breath. Coming up, inhale, Come back to the side, release the hands, exhale into Samasthiti. Good. One last standing pose, Utkatasana, but first we'll do Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump or flow into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, drop the tailbone, gaze forward, step or jump to the top, feet together, Utkatasana, 5 breaths. You can have the palms together gazing up or the palms apart gazing forward. Sink the hips down, tailbone is heavy. Feel the lift just above the pubic bone, the lift through the heart, and the reach through the pinkies. Good, settle in, couple more breaths. Spreading the upper back, one more. And exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Hands are shoulder width apart. And then just bring a little bit of weight into the hands. Keep the knees bent. And then press through the hands so you feel the protraction of the shoulders. As you feel the upper back rounding. Relax the neck and we'll just hold it here for a couple more breaths. So you really feel that rounding, that spreading of the upper back from the protraction of the shoulders. One more breath. Lift the spine up between the shoulder blades. Good. And then sit back into a squat. Take a moment. And now we'll try Bakasana for just a few breaths. So again, come back into that position. Hands shoulder width apart. Feet together. Open the knees. Bend the elbows and shift forward so the hands come above the elbows to the outsides of the arms. And if you need to separate the feet a little bit, you can to find that. And then maybe you shift forward, find that same press through the shoulders that we just did before. And then keep shifting forward where maybe the feet lift. Good. For 3, keep pressing through the shoulders, feel the protraction. 2, maybe bringing the elbows in towards each other if they're splaying out. 1 more breath. And then exhale, step or jump back to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's jump through to seated. And let's go straight into Janu Shirshasana A. So bend the right knee and let the knee fall out to the side. Inhale, square the shoulders over the left leg. Exhale, fold over the left leg. You can keep the fingertips on the floor or you can grab onto the left foot. Start easing into the right hip as you keep that left leg strong. One more breath. Staying mindful with the breath as we transition. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, release the foot and straighten the right leg, going straight into the left side. Inhale, bend the left knee. Square the shoulders over the right leg. Exhale, folding over the right leg. And holding onto the foot or fingertips on the floor. Nice. 1 more breath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, cross the shins, hands to the floor. Inhale, lift up or roll over the feet. Exhale, step or jump back into Chaturanga, bottom of the plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through Marchasana A. Exhale, bend the right knee. Make some space between the foot and the thigh. Inhale, reach the right arm up and forward. Maybe taking the bind as you exhale, or holding onto the left foot as you exhale. And then everybody, one more breath. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold. So you're sliding the torso on the inside of the thigh. If you have the bind, reach the elbows away from each other. Open the space of the heart. You're squaring the shoulders over the left leg again. Good. Settle into it for a couple more breaths. Good. Exhale. Inhale. Look up. Exhale. Release the bind. Straighten the right leg. Bend the left knee. Inhale. Reach the left arm up and forward. And then exhale as you either bind or hold on to the right foot. One more inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold. Good. Settling in. Just moving into the hips a little bit more. Keep the right leg strong. And spread across the collarbones for 2 more breaths. And exhaling. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the bind and cross the shins. Maybe different cross this time. Inhale, lift up or roll over the feet. Exhale, step or jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through into Navasana. Legs in front of you. Straight legs or bent legs. You can even have the toes on the floor if you'd like. Good. Lift the heart for 3, 4. And then from here, we're going to go into half Navasana. 5. Exhale. We're going to lower down and roll the pelvis forward so that the lower back is touching the mat. Arms out in front of you. The legs can stay straight. Or bend the legs so the toes are on the floor. Good. One more breath here. Keep lifting the shoulders. And on your next inhale, you're going to come back in, cross the shins, hands to the floor. And with the feet lifted or on the floor, inhale, lift up, lift the gaze, exhale, come down. We'll do that 2 more times, Navasana. And you always have the option to do the shins parallel to the floor or the toes on the floor. Same thing with the half Navasana. 3, deep breaths. 4, 5, lower down. 1, so the front of the body is super strong. 2, press the lower back into the mat. 3, 4, bend the knees if you need to. 5, inhale, come back up and lift. Exhale, come down. Okay, 1 more. I know these are hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, lower down. 1, 2, lift the shoulders. 3, front of the body is super strong. 4, hold it, deep breaths. 5, inhale, come up, lift the hips. Exhale, step or jump back. Take a vinyasa, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through to seated. And now we're going to look to second series to inspire us how we can get deeper into the hips. So eventually in Galvasana, we get the leg into this pigeon position. So let's lie down. Let's all lie down. So it just makes it easier to work with this when we have the support of the floor. And you can just start by bending the knees and crossing the right ankle below the left knee. And then before you then press the right knee away from you. So you start to get that figure 4 position. So you can stop anywhere along this pathway that works for you. Now, if you'd like, you can bring the left knee towards you, but keep moving the right knee away from the right shoulder and keep the right foot flexed. Keep drawing the left knee towards you. Now, if this feels good, this feels okay, you're going to hook the right foot into your left elbow so that you can hold the right shin to your chest without the left knee pushing, so that you can then reach the left foot to the floor. Good. So remember, stop anywhere along this pathway. And then you keep pulling the right knee, the right foot towards you as you activate the muscles in the hip in order to move the right knee away from you. Good. Or maybe you just think about right knee away from you and then the muscles start to kind of work there in the hip. Now, last option is to straighten the left leg. So that takes a little bit deeper. It might make it harder to keep the shin close to you. So you can ease up on that a little bit if you want. Good. So this is basically approximating the position that we'll be in the arm balance, but we're oriented a little bit differently. Okay, now gently coming out of it, you can come out of the external rotation, just hug the knee to your chest, and then exhale, release the leg. Good. Again, bend the knees to go into the left side, cross the left foot over the right knee, and then get that action turned on of moving the left knee away from you. Good. Bringing the right knee to your chest. Maybe you're hugging the right knee to your chest. You can stay here. You can hook the right elbow around the left foot. So you hug the shin towards you as the right foot comes to the floor. Just kind of like check in with the hips, what's going on. And then maybe you're straightening the right leg. Keep drawing the foot towards you and the left knee away from you. Good. And you can always move let the foot kind of come away from you a little bit if you need to. Just find a good place to hold for a couple more breaths. And soften that. You can come out of the external rotation and just hug the knee for a moment. And exhale, release. And now just for the sake of symmetry, let's do both legs at the same time. So you're going to bring the feet together. Hold onto the feet. Hold onto the outside edges of the feet. Now, you can either separate the feet and come into happy baby. Or if you want to get a little bit more of external rotation into this, keep the feet together and pull the feet towards your forehead. They don't have to touch. And then the lower back is going to lift off of the floor a little bit. That's perfectly normal. And if you want, you could even, as you start to pull the feet towards you, move the knees away from the floor. It's tricky here. It gets a little bit hard. Good. For 3, 2. This could be a nice variation for Yoga Nidrasana. Good. And then hug the knees into your chest. And then we'll walk up by straightening the legs and then bending them to get some momentum to rock back up. Cross the shins, let's take a vinyasa, hands to the floor. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, come to your knees. Just explain to you where we're going. So first, we're going to try Galvasana from just the hands on the floor, like if you're going into Bakasana. And then if you'd like, we'll start to play around with being in that tripod position and explore the entry from the tripod position. But first, let's just get into Galvasana from like a squat position. So First, we're going to come into that figure 4 position that we were in lying down. So you're going to bring the right ankle over the left knee. Like this. Yeah, good. And if, I'm trying to think. And so I'm not really sure because I've never done it this way, but feel free to explore blocks here. So maybe putting blocks underneath your hands if that makes it easier to kind of get into it. But careful, that might be, if you feel unstable, then just ease into that. But we're going to place the palms flat, and then you're going to bend the elbows, and you're going to work towards bringing just below the right knee, behind the right shoulder, and then hooking the foot around the left shoulder. And you're going to flex the foot so hard that helps to create some stability. And you're going to bend the elbows and draw the elbows in. And then first you're just going to shift the weight forward and back. Maybe if it's comfortable to have the weight in the hands, you can lift the foot and just start there. Good. So you're trying to get the knee just behind the armpit, or as close as you can, as long as it's above the elbow, as high up as you can, just below the knee. And then the foot is hooking around the arm, the left arm, we're doing the right side, and as close as you can again to the shoulder. And that flexing of the foot and hugging the outside of the arm is going to help create stability. So you can try the other side if you haven't already. So if it's easier to get into it from standing, you can come into the figure 4 from standing, bend the knee a little bit, and then place the hands down. And already you might feel like this is already a really intense stretch in the hip. Bring the left foot on the outside of the arm and the left knee behind the arm. Lift the foot. Good. And now, last variation, if you want to try the first side again, if it felt okay to find your balance with the knee bent, like that second knee bent and the foot lifted, you can try straightening that second leg. So I'll let you all try it again on each side. So, and I think it's actually easier to do this from standing to get into it. Bend, come into figure 4, bend, then fold forward and bring the hands to the floor. You can tell this isn't easy. I'm like working here. So, sense of humor is really helpful here because this is a difficult pose. Foot on the outside of the arm, right knee on the back of the arm. Really flex the foot strongly. And you could also think about pressing through the shoulders like we did for that Bakasana prep. So you're kind of protracting the shoulders. That's really going to help you feel more stable here. So shifting forward, press through the shoulders, lift the left foot, and then maybe straighten the left leg. You have to really keep the weight forward. And the right foot might slide down, and that's okay. It's hard to keep the right shin that's in pigeon completely parallel. It might happen that the foot kind of slides down and the knee kind of comes up. That's okay. As long as the foot doesn't come below the elbow, because then you'll lose that bind that helps keep it all together. Let's try the left side. Hopefully this is fun. Okay. Figure 4, lower down, place the foot, hook, and then you want to start with the foot and the knee as high up on the arms as you can, because it's going to slide down. So if you start higher, you're kind of improving your odds. As you shift forward, press through the shoulders, tone the core. That's why we did those hollow body Navasanas. And then as you shift forward, squeeze the left foot. So important. Lift the right foot and maybe straighten the right leg. Maybe. Good. All right, let's take a vinyasa. Inhale, step back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And I will just play around a little bit longer. So from tripod stand, only do this if your headstand is comfortable. Because tripod, you have even more weight in the head because you don't have as much stability as when you're in headstand like this and you're pressing through the forearms. So if you don't feel comfortable in the neck, then maybe don't do this and just keep working with the variation we were just doing. So first we get into headstand and we lower into the pigeon. So we bend the knee that's coming into the pigeon position, and we can use the other leg to help us into it. So you can watch me if you want. So set up your tripod, first like in downward facing dog. And this is what I was talking about in the arms for Prasarita Padottanasana A. You want to squeeze the elbows in and move the shoulders away from the ears. And that's going to stabilize the shoulders to support the neck. So you think about moving the shoulder blades down the back. And this mat is really thin, so I'm just going to double it up, and that helps for like the neck if you feel like you need a little bit more cushion support. So find that position in the arms like Prasarita Padottanasana. Spread the fingers, squeeze the elbows in, and move the shoulders away from the ears. And then you can come up into tripod. And then I'm going to bend the right knee, and I'm going to use the left knee to help me push the leg into that position. So you use the left leg to push the right leg into position. So I try to wiggle the right knee behind the right shoulder and then push. So I'm really pushing with this left leg. Push the right ankle behind the left shoulder. So I can hook the foot and flex the foot strongly. And then from here, this could be as far as you want to get maybe, or maybe you just try to shift back and lift the head. Yeah? So then once you have the leg in position, it's just a matter of shifting the weight back to come onto your hands and just lift the head. Maybe you just lift the head a little bit. Maybe the arms stay bent. Maybe you push into the hands and the arms straighten a little bit. So play around with that. When you lift up, obviously, like what I just did, I lifted too much and I fell back. So you have to find that perfect balance of shifting the weight into the hands so that the head is free to lift, but you stay centered. And if you want to go into it with that back leg straight, I suggest straightening the leg first and then lifting the head. But you can just try lifting the head without straightening the leg. So I'll keep talking and I'll keep showing, and you kind of just keep exploring. This is a really difficult pose, so just have fun with it and see what's possible. Maybe something's possible that you had no idea was possible. So I'm going to come into the other side. Maybe sure you set up your tripod correctly before you come up. And then, so I'm kind of like hooking, so I'm bringing the left leg into the pigeon. So I'm hooking the right knee on the side of the right shin. Yeah? So that I can use the right knee to help me push the leg into position. Good. And now, if you want to straighten the leg, do it now. So that when you shift back, you have to think of reaching that right foot back and lifting it up. Because if you don't lift that back leg up, it's going to take you down. Remember, flex the foot strongly, or maybe you just keep the knee bent for now and you shift back. And in a way, it's now just doing it. I feel like in a way, straightening the leg to come up makes it easier. It makes it harder, but it makes it easier to lift up because you have energy moving back to counterbalance the weight so you can lift the head. It's kind of like that seesaw effect. You're like reaching back, and that helps you to lift the head because the weight is counterbalanced. All right, let's try for a little bit more. If you're just trying from squatting from this position, that's also great. So when you try to lift the head, if you're trying to lift the head, it's just a shifting back. And then when you're ready to lift the head, you lift the head and lift the foot at the same time. I see some of you dying. Okay. All right, so let's keep going. Let's take a vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And let's do Gomukhasana because I think that would be a really nice counter pose to the hips and the shoulders. Crossing the right leg over the left leg. And in Ashtanga, we bring the feet together and sit so the hips are lifted. We're on the feet. You could also do the yin variation where the hips are on the floor. And we'll first start by interlacing the fingers around the right knee, lifting the heart and dropping the chin. As you keep reaching the right knee towards the floor, drop the tailbone. 3, 4, 5. Good. Right knee's on top. So for B, the right arm is on top. Binding behind the back. And reach the elbow up and gaze up for 5 breaths. Keep pressing through the feet. Keep the tailbone heavy as you reach up through the elbow. Good. And soften and release that. Bring the hands in front, step back into a plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do the left side. So left leg comes on top. Bring the feet as close as you can together as you sit back. Interlace around the left knee. And then lift the heart, drop the tailbone. Gazing at the tip of the nose. One more breath. And release that. Left arm on top, right arm from the bottom. Maybe binding behind the back. And reaching the elbow up as you gaze up. 5 breaths. Keep wrapping the elbow in towards the side of the head. Last breath. And soften to release. Bring the hands in front, step back, lower through chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through to seated. And exhale, lie down on your back. Bend the knees and plant the feet along the outside edges of the hips. Take a bridge pose to begin our back bends. Inhale. Exhale. Reach the tailbone forward to lengthen the lower back as you reach the knees forward. Inhale as you interlace the fingers or catch the ankles and press through the feet to lift the pelvis. Good. Press the back of the neck into the mat so the chin moves away from the chest, and instead the chest moves towards the chin as you keep reaching the knees towards the front of the mat. Deep breaths for 3. Spreading the lower back. 4. And then when we go down on the exhale, we're going to spread the shoulder blades so that the upper spine is touching the mat. And we're going to roll down the spine very slowly, one vertebrae at a time. So we need to sort of wave the spine. One vertebrae. So the lower back touches, and then finally the sacrum touches. Inhale. Exhale, reach the knees forward and the tailbone forward. Inhale with the option to come into Urdhva Dhanurasana with the hands on the floor next to the ears, but not touching the ears. And the fingertips pointing towards the shoulders or angled out a little bit. Whenever you're ready, if you haven't already, come up. Keep wrapping the shoulder blades so that you're protracting the shoulders, and maybe you need to actively do that as the elbows move towards each other, pressing through the feet and lifting through the sacrum. Feel the pubic bone narrowing, the front of the pelvis narrowing as the inner thighs move down towards the floor. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, tuck the chin and again roll down the spine, one vertebrae at a time. We'll do one more back bend. Feel free to go at your own pace. Come into it whenever you're ready. You can do a bridge pose again. You can go into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Maybe you're walking the hands in towards the feet if there is space. You can count 5 breaths and come out of it when you're ready. You could also try standing up from here. And when you're done with your back bends, you can hug the knees. You can forward fold. If you'd like to forward fold, you can rock up to seated and straighten the legs and fold. Another counter pose that's nice after back bending is bringing the bottom of the feet together and making a diamond shape with the legs. So the feet are really far away from you, so you're not pulled in like Baddha Konasana, but you're opening up the Baddha Konasana a lot. And then you can fold forward here. And that's just another option to release the spine, and you get to decide what feels like a better release for back bending, this position or the legs straight, or lying on your back hugging the knees. In this diamond shape, I like to drape the arms over the shins and just catch the tops of the feet. You can even play around with moving the knees towards the floor. Stay with the breath, maybe slowing it down. Just a few more breaths here. Last exhale. Inhale, look up. Exhale. Let's cross the shins and prepare to jump back. Inhale, lift or roll over the feet. Exhale, let's take a vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Let's finish with headstands before we do the last three poses. So we can interlace the fingers and bring the elbows shoulder width apart. And then before you place the head on the floor, we're going to tuck the toes, press the elbows down and forward. Notice how that stabilizes the shoulders as you straighten the legs. Keep pressing the elbows down and forward. And maybe you just hang out here. This is your headstand work. You can even relax the neck so you're gazing back towards the toes. Keep pressing through the elbows, and maybe you place the top of the head onto the floor, and maybe you walk the feet closer to get the hips over the head and work your way into headstand. Again, just stay in that preparation if that works for you. Keep pressing the elbows down. And if possible, slowing down the breath. Legs are strong, and you're reaching through the feet, drawing the lower belly in so you're not coming into a banana shape. Think about reaching the tailbone towards the heels as you keep pressing the elbows down into the floor. Okay, let's take 5 more breaths. If you like, you can come down into the half Shoshasana for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're halfway, you can inhale, come back up for 1 more breath, and exhale, lower all the way down to child's pose. We'll take a few breaths in child's pose. You can keep the hands in front of you or bring the arms to the side, the knees together. Keep the Ujjayi breathing. Keep the tone in the vocal cords. Keep the even pace of the breath. Exhaling as you inhale, making your way back to Chatwari. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come to a seated position. So the last 3 poses, so you can come into full lotus if you'd like. Or just find a comfortable seat with the legs crossed. You can also bring one leg into lotus and the other leg tucked underneath. Wrap the arms behind the back, grabbing onto the forearms or taking the bind. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Drawing inwards, bringing the attention to the breath, moving in through the nostrils, and the breath moving out through the nostrils. Just take about 2 more breaths here at your own pace. exhaling, empty of breath. Start to rise up. Inhale as you release the hands and bring the wrist towards the knees and the pointer to the thumb. With the arms straight but relaxed. With the spine straight but relaxed. Bringing the chin to the chest. Allowing the pelvis to settle into the earth. And allowing the heart to open. And feels the spaciousness in the space of the heart. As you breathe in and out through the nostrils, maintaining the tone in the vocal cords. Following the breath through the inhale and through the exhale. And finding your own pace without strain, without force, without expectation of how long the breath should be. Allowing the breath to be as it is, just holding space for it to unfold. So that you can observe, so that you can listen. A few more rounds of the breath at your own pace. Finishing your last round. And letting that go for the final effort. Uplutihi. Hands to the front, into the floor, in front of the hips. Inhale, lift up, shoulders forward, hips up and back. 1. Lift the gaze. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Take one final vinyasa and we'll meet in Shavasana for the final resting pose. Lying on our backs, the palms facing up, letting the feet roll out so you're completely relaxed. Allow the breath to be natural, spontaneously moving in and out through the nose. Soften behind the eyes. Soften the throat. Completely relax. If you're ready to start moving out, you can gently wake up the bodies by moving your fingers and your toes. Good, rocking the head side to side. Reaching the arms over your head. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, bend the knees and plant the feet, falling over to either side. And slowly make your way back up to a seated position. And we'll just settle here for a final moment to mindfully close the practice and settle into the residue from the practice. Giving away the fruits of the practice. So we put in the effort in the practice without expecting anything in particular as a result, but rather giving the fruits away so that the efforts of your practice may be of benefit to others. Maybe as simple as those you cross paths with and interact with immediately after this practice. Staying connected to the space deep in you. Taking a deep breath into the space of the heart and filling that space, feeling the spaciousness, the endless space that's available in the space of the heart. Breathing right into that space. As you exhale, bring the palms together, Anjali Mudra. We'll close with a closing mantra. Inhale through the nose. Om. Swasti prajabhyaha paripalayantan nyayena margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyaha Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, everyone.